welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining us from London is Debashish Sen. What a beautiful backdrop he has. It looks nice and summery, very breezy, and the sun is out. It looks very, very pleasant over there. Debashish, tell us, how has your journey been? This is the first time we're speaking to each other after a long time, actually, and obviously after you've reached London now, we'll be there soon as well. But how is London? Tell us, what's it like over there?
Yeah, it's been bright and sunny, Gargi. Not what it was a week before. Means it's been bright and sunny. There's some pleasant breeze going around. So yes, and obviously all the action is now at the Lords, where the WTC final means Australia having a stronghold and looks favourite to lift the title once again. Yeah, as far as the Indian team is concerned, obviously, I was at the at Beckenham along with Rohit. Rohit right now is at the Beckenham ground, but the intra squad match is going on, as you know. But it's been behind the closed doors, so we cannot actually make it what is all happening. But definitely, Rohit will be updating us as to what all is happening, what all the actions are going on. But it was good to see that the Indian players sporting the black armband as a mark of tribute to the people who lost their lives in that horrific plane crash. But as far as the Indian team is concerned, yes, we already broke the news about Gautam Gambhir returning back. He's already right now in Delhi because of the health issues of his mother. Hopefully, she recovers. Our prayers are with Gautam Gambhir's mother so that she can recover in time and Gautam Gambhir can join in time for the first test match, which is going to start from at Headingley from June 28th. Gagi.
Yes, absolutely. And these are trying times for the entire country. All from Rev Sports, all our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those who have lost their lives and anyone that has been affected because of this tragedy. Um, we were also, joined by Boria, who is in outside of the Lords, and he's given us an update from the WTC final where it's turning out to be Australia domination once again in an ICC final. Australia at this point lead by 281 runs. They are completely dominating the game. But here's an update from Boria.
Done. We came to Lords expecting a South African fight, but true to Australia, once again, this team just has something in them that no other team in the world has when it comes to these big finals. And you've got to give it to them. South Africa believed 2 more wickets and they were in. Just the tail, Nathan Lyon and Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc, not any of the recognized batters. And then the Dow resistance. Mitchell Starc doing what Mitchell Starc does, playing wonderfully well. That South African pace attack negotiated beautifully. It's good for batting. Beautiful day, beautiful warm day here in London. South Africa will bank on that. But when you talk about 260, 270, 280 in terms of a chase in the 4th innings, you realize how difficult an ask that is. Australia, yet again, has managed to do it. That last partnership between Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood, you've got to give it to these 2 bowlers. They really, with the bat, doing the trick, and Hazlewood got confident, started hitting through the line also. Mitchell Starc playing a wonderful innings. Back-to-back World Test Championships looming for Pat Cummins and company, and what an incredible fight back yet again. As I said, you've got to give it to Australia. They are the best team in the world in this format.
Absolutely, Debashish. Talk about the domination from Australia in Test cricket. Look back on the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Both of us were there. That was a heartbreaking loss for all Indian fans. But Australia, when we look at them as a team, as a Test team, they are
And
completely dominating the format right now.
yeah, absolutely, Gargi. And if you talk about this Australian team, obviously in that Border Gavaskar Trophy, which we covered, everyone means Scott Boland was the bowler in form, but to leave out Scott Boland and obviously Josh Hazlewood, and he has done the trick with the bat. I mean, obviously when and this is the beauty about this Australian team. Means when someone fails with the bat, invariably you get someone with the ball to do all, and that is what the success of Australian team lies. Means and once again, I think South Africa, yes, it will be unfortunate for the South Africa if they go on to lose. Means once again establishing the fact that they have choked yet again. Means it means obviously it's hard to digest, but yes, having done so well in the lead up to the World Test Championship under Temba Babuma's captaincy, 7 wins, and then to lose out on this Test match, and perhaps this can be the biggest Test match in South Africa's history.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. We've got a comment here. Saurabh is asking, is Gargi supporting South Africa with that shirt? Saurabh, you'd be uh, surprised to find that this actually says Australia. And I had no intention of, supporting Australia when I wore this shirt. This is a souvenir I got when I was in Australia at for the BGT. But quite funny that you point that out. Indian cricket fan is asking, what are the updates of intra squad match? So what we know as of now is for the next 3 days, which is 13th, 14th, and 15th, India will practice closed doors. So nobody will have any access to that. There were two open practice sessions before this, and we have been bringing you all the updates. We saw that yesterday was quite a light work day for the Indian team. Most of the bowlers were rested, and Rohit Juglan also joined us. He will give us a comprehensive update of the entire practice session. But yesterday was a fairly light day. You had a new slip quadrant also practicing. You had people taking catching practice and all of that. But Rohit Juglan joins us from Rohit. Where are you? I have no idea at this point.
He's in Beckham.
He's in Beckenham. I thought he was traveling to see the WTC final.
No. He will be coming, but he's right now in Beckenham.
All right, all right. Rohit, it seems like we've lost you once again. Okay, RN is asking, why does India practice behind curtains? That's the question. Devashish, can you tell our viewers why India is practicing behind curtains or behind closed doors? I mean,
Well,
it's
obviously,
just simple, it's just
that
cricketing
has
logic.
it was a similar kind of a thing when they had a practice match. Remember, just before the first
Yes.
in Perth. Means obviously the match was played at the Optus Stadium, but the Indians had a practice match at the WACA ground, the Western Australia Cricket Association ground, which is which was basically the old test center. So yes, and on that case also, it was a closed door affair. And obviously, who better than Rohit to give us the update, because he is at right there, right there in Beckenham. Because as you can see, I am in London. I have come to collect my accreditation card, and obviously, I will be meeting Boriada, who is right now at the Lords to watching the WTC final. So Rohit will be the best man to give us the updates.
Rohit, it seems like your internet is much better now. Rohit, tell us the updates. There are people asking why India is practicing behind closed doors, why there is a private practice session going on.
Look, at this point of time, I'm right outside the Lord's Gate. This is the similar gate where I have to make my entry from. So yes, I'm just waiting outside because there's too much of a rush at this point of time. If you'll see, but why Indian team is practicing behind the doors? I was there till half an hour, and there were some people from the bat manufacturers. I was watching Rishabh there. I'm not talking about. I'm not giving any information about the game, that what happened there, who opened the innings, because it was quite visible from the road only. Me and Devashish did, some adventurous reporting from the Perth platform. We were just finding somewhere that whether we can get a glimpse of the Indian team's practice or not, because I think in Perth there was no restrictions from the Indian team. It was from Cricket Australia, which came. We
Yes.
asked from the BCCI media manager at their, from the on the very first day, because first me landed there, and then soon after, half an hour or an hour back, Debashish Da also landed. So we directly asked from the BCCI media manager, and the BCCI media manager in Perth said that I don't have any problem you guys coming here and covering the game. It's because of some construction work was going on at the Perth cricket ground. That's why they said that the Cricket Australia won't be able to give any kind of security for you guys, because it's Saturday and Sunday. So that's when we said that, okay, if we have to cover it from outside, this means there was no restriction at that intra-sport game as far as that India, practicing in Perth ground. But here they have directly said, if you read the media advisory, it was written in bold there that it was a behind closed doors opportunity. So it's not the first time they are doing it. First of all, we need to understand that this is a practice game where they want to try each and everything, and they want their plans not to be come out. As simple as that. Uh, we have seen teams doing that. It's not the Indian team are doing it for the very first time. The other teams, a different part of the world does that, where no media was allowed. I remember this incident where the Adelaide pitch curator specifically told Debashishda and Shubhanda to, just go out from there because they were doing something in the pitch. They were preparing pitch, in certain way. I was at that point of time in Canberra covering the Prime Minister's 11 game versus the Indian team. But, teams do it. Teams do it for different reasons. Australian team practice behind curtains in Australia also. So it's not the very first time that we are seeing Indian team doing this because they want to try different things. They don't want to give out anything as far as who will be their number three. Look, we still can't, say 100% that whether it will be Karun Nair or it will be Sai Sudarshan. We can't say that who will be our, the seam bowling all rounder. Whether it will be Shardul Thakur or Nitish Kumar Reddy. Yes, we can assume that yes, this could be the possibility. But here, if you see this game, I think you'll get each and everything. So that's my point is that they don't want to give anything away at this point of time. And look, Gautam Gambhir is very, very straight in these kind of things because earlier what used to be is, and Debashis Da will vouch for it, that Rahul Dravid used to do is, Ravi Shastri used to do is, they do something they completely different as far as their nets are concerned, and when they announce their playing 11, it's completely different. There were times that this happened, that you are getting something out from the nets, but it's not happening on the game. But with Gautam Gambhir, you won't get this. Whatever you are watching in a in the practice area, whatever you are watching in the practice ground, you will get exactly same in the game. So that's why it's easy to make out from these practice games that what he's up to. But as we told in the morning that he is not here at this point of time because of a family emergency back home. So we have to see that also that when he will be joining, will he be here at the Beckenham Cricket Ground or will he directly join in at the Headingley Cricket Ground? That we have to see, Gargi, at this point of time.
So you see, those are the updates, and Rohit also very well explained it why India is practicing behind closed doors. But Debashish, when we talk about that number three spot, do you think it's still a toss-up between Sai Sudarshan and Karun Nair, or do you think Sai Sudarshan has solidified himself in that position?
No, I think it was very much indicative of the fact that what the report that was sent by Rohit yesterday, the slip cordon means obviously, and given the experience Karun Nair brings into the table, I think and to start with, I think India should go in with a Karun Nair. Yes, he has already scored a double hundred on this trip, and obviously it was a unofficial test match. So I think yes, at the same time, the you can obviously try Sai Sudarshan as the series progresses. But to start with, I would rather go in with an experienced Karun Nair who has done nothing wrong in the lead up to this test series. So and obviously you can make out. Means these are obviously you have been covering cricket for long, Rohit. Obviously, these are indications. Obviously, the slip cordon is a specialized job, and to see Karun Nair fielding in the first slip, I think that is a very very important indication. Yes, obviously, it would have been a much better indication had the media got an opportunity to watch the practice game. Then we could actually see who was actually practicing the slip cordon. But having said that, I think I would rather go in with an experienced Karuna in place of, means obviously when you talk about this Indian batting, they are without the two greats of the game in Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So I think in that case, I think you need to go in with an experienced Karun Nair.
Okay, all right. Rohit, digressing a little bit, let's talk about the WTC final. Australia at this point leading by 281 runs. Quite a domination from Australia. A lot of people had said, former Australian players, whoever we talked to, always said, that it was going to be Australia who won this game. You saw a fight from South Africa, but ultimately Australia is just too good.
I think specifically Mitchell Stark. If you see Mitchell Stark's batting, his grind. Yes, he was lucky yesterday. Couple of edges, couple of chances went in South Africa's way. Marco Jensen dropping a catch. At the very last part of the yesterday's game, I think there were multiple opportunities. But yes, you can say that Aussies were lucky last evening. But today, the grit they have shown, the day started with the Pat Cummins, bowling. Yesterday, I'm talking about, and after that, the kind of batting they did. And when you are seeing them 70 odd for 7 wickets, you were smelling at this point of time. At that point of time, you were smelling that could South Africa do this? What RCB did in IPL, will this be the, we saw, Harry Kane winning a trophy. We saw RCB winning a trophy. Is this the year where South Africa also wins a trophy and, end that trophy drought where we say they choke at the last moment, where they're not able to finish that final hurdle? So that's where I think Mitchell Stark is the only person who's just standing from long now. It's not it's over. I think he's close to 60 runs now. The kind of deliveries he faced, the most number of deliveries in this match. He surpassed Steven Smith also. So that's give you a kind of hint that what this team can do as far as their batters are concerned, and after that what their bowlers can do with the bat. So I think anything above 250, we were thinking that it's going to be a very difficult task for South Africa. But Gargi, just one point, which going to be game changer for South Africa from past 2 days. We have seen the first day, we have seen the second day, some 14 odd wickets and 11, 12 odd wickets, falling on days. But it was an overcast situation. Today, if you see the skies, I don't think I can show. Yes, there, if you can see the sky, there's no dark cloud, Garg. It is, and I remember Devashish da entering the room for the first time today, and he said that kitna garmi hai yaar. So that is the actual position now. Now, from last couple of days, yesterday and today, it's proper, sunny London. So it's not an overcast London. So that one thing can help South Africa, because it's not the same skies. The sky is not the same, and if sky is not the same, the Duke's ball won't do much. Yes, the skillfulness of Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood can easily come into the picture. Cam Green can also contribute. But the kind of weather which we are seeing today, I think it's damn easy if you compare it with day one and day two. So I think that can play a really important part. If South Africa got to a good start, if they get this, 50, 70 runs at the board and no wicket fell. So I think that's they open the game for themselves. So I think yes, first they have to pick that last wicket, just pull them down under 300, and then to start with a good mindset, because it's sunny here, the skies are clear, there's no overcast conditions. So if Aussies have any kind of help from the sky, I think means overcast conditions, then there will be a definite task where we can say that yes, this game completely on the sides of Australia. Yes, at this point of time they are on driving seat, but I think the change in weather could really turn this game upside down, Gargi.
All right, and final couple of questions before we close the show. Sanvi is
But
saying you guys should have
but if
peeked
I
into the.
if you may allow
Yeah,
me, Gargi, I would say I think odds are very much in favor of Australia now, because it's a big final and they have already taken a lead of in excess of 280. So there will be psychological. Yes, as Rohit said, yes, South Africa would be looking to get a partnership to start with, but one wicket can lead you to a couple more wickets, and that is, and when you have, means obviously the South Australian attack is relentless. We know what a Mitch Stark, Pat Cummins, that trio, and Hazelwood, and don't count out Nathan Lyon as well. I think Nathan Lyon in the fourth innings will be very, very crucial. And I think with the amount of runs Australia have already taken the lead, I think I would put my money on Australia to win this World Test Championship final.
all right. Rohit, final question from you. What is India's schedule looking like for the next few days? How many days is the intra squad game happening for? 4 or 3 or 4?
Look, as per papers, if you go by the papers, it's 13, 14, 15, 16. But me and Devashish remember, we knew that on the very last day in Perth also, there was only 3 to 4 players as far as the intra-squad game is concerned. For the first couple of days, yes, there were each and everything going on as per schedule. But it's if the team management got their what want on the very first 2 days, I don't think they will go for the full throttle on 4 days, because you have to take care of this also, Gargi. That after that on 17th they have a travel day. It's a good 4 to 5 hours bus journey. I think Devashish Da will give a clear idea that how far Beckenham to London. It's already over 1 hour, 1.5 hour from Beckenham to London. So they are doing this to and fro from London to Beckenham, and then Beckenham to London. So it's already 3.5 hours journey, which players are going through at this point of time. After this, from here to Headingley, another good amount of time they have to spend on the road, and they are not traveling with plane anywhere. It will be a bus ride from any part of the England to other part of the England. So they have to take care of that also. So I think 13, 14, 15, I think will give you a clear picture that where this game is heading to. And then on 16, if they got their results, that will be it. Otherwise, yes, official call of time is 16th evening, somewhere around 5:30. There is a press conference where the media is invited, and they will hand over a player, and we can ask them the questions related to the game. So on that day, we can officially can say something about this particular game. At this point of time, as I mentioned, I was there. Some fans were there, standing, because it's right ahead of your eyes. The game is going right in front of your eyes, but you can't report. So that's how it is at this point of time. So after that, then on 18th they have a morning practice session, and on 19th they have an afternoon practice session, which has been shared by the England Cricket Board. Their media team. They are also asking that whether you are coming for the game or not. So my advice to all of us who all are coming to the game, please reply to that email also. They have sent
No,
all the details that what.
if you are not traveling, then you can send a mail. But it means obviously if you are not sending, that is guaranteed that you are covering the game.
So yeah, that's a morning session, India's practice morning session, followed by a press conference, or before also there could be a press conference that can be told. The media team can tell us about that, and then 19 it will be an afternoon session for Team India. Vice versa for England. England will have an afternoon session on 18th, and 19th they will have a morning session, Gargi.
All right, all right. So that that's a good update there. But we can call it a show. We will now close the show, and we'll be back with more updates. Devashish and Rohit together will give us all updates from now on, and of course Boria is there as well, and the rest of the team will join soon. So thank you so much, Devashish and Rohit. Looking forward to updates from you.